And we are live. What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News. I will let people come on to the chat. The discussion tonight is, of course, Errol the Truth Spence. Is he truth? Is he the truth? Or is he hype? That's what we're going to find out today. I think Spence is a good fighter. I think he is a fighter that wanted to prove himself in certain ways. Okay. I'm gonna let it load. You guys that's loading on, tell me where you're at in this crazy world. I know it's kind of late for my UK peeps, but get in where we can fit in. But we can feel free to look at this anytime. We got 2 on the chat. Counterpunch to you guys. Let's talk Errol Spence. 3 on the chat. Daniel Vasquez. Counterpunch to you. If Kell Brook didn't fight Triple G, he would have beat Spence. Ooh, you brought up a good point. It's a very good point. I do wonder if undamaged Kell Brook, if he was 100%, what type of fight would that have been? That's the question you ask yourself, because obviously around the 8th and ninth round, his eye was really bothering him to the point where he couldn't really even focus on fighting because he was pawing at that ISO, and you could tell something was wrong with it. So yeah, it had broken in another area of the face. Okay, I think Kell Brook took a mistake to, first of all, carry his ass to 160, but then go right back down there. It's like you fight Golovkin, which nobody really wanted to fuck with Golovkin at that time, really, especially at the middleweight division. You get beat, get a bone broken in your face, then you go down to then you go back to 147, right? After you made 160 and get more of your face broken by Errol Spence. That's a rock and a hard place, man. That is a rock and a hard place. That's crazy. The hammer, you got hammered at 160. Now you just ran into a rock. It's crazy, man. It is absolutely crazy. So that is a good question. Great counterpunch, So I do think about that. Trip uploads. Daniel, it was his other orbital bone. Trip, let me give you your face, okay? Your skull, right? You say, oh, it was one side, but understand your skull doesn't work that way. Your skull is some people it's round, okay? So when you break one part of it, that one bone, because your face, your jaw's different, okay? I'm talking about this area. That's your skull, okay? If you break your skull anywhere on your skull, it's going to affect the whole part, the whole bone, okay? And that's what happened when Golovkin broke his face. It made it more subject to get broken other areas because it was trying to heal, because his ass didn't take enough time to let it heal. I don't believe. You know what I mean? So it was one of those situations where it was like, hey, it was one of those situations where you were like, okay, your face is broken. You're now you've lost your first professional fight, but then you go into a fight with a guy with a half-healed face. So that's how that works. I just need to let you know on how that shit works. It ain't like this bone broke, then another guy broke another bone. That's a totally different bone. This is one bone in your face. Okay. So I had to counterpunch you on that. Terry, so Daddy O, who do you think is the best Triple G, Spence, Sean Porter, the guys in that division? Is best Triple G, Spence, Sean Porter, these guys in that division? I don't know, man. I always believed in certain fighters can beat other fighters and the other ones can't. So who is victorious out of those? We have to see. That's what I'm really looking forward to this fight because everyone looked at every see here's the narrative. Everyone looked at Errol Spence as someone to avoid. I think they avoided him, but like they didn't fight him because they didn't have to. There wasn't nothing behind it. You went from a prospect, and when you had such potential. He was like the best prospect of the year by ESPN in 2012. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Um, I think that a lot of people thought that, like, first of all, Keith Thurman kept getting injured. He was injured, right? He was out for a long. I think he was out longer, just trying to wait shit out. Honestly, Keith Thurman, like, let me see what's going to happen in the welterweight division before I come back with my belt, and then I can decide who I want to fight. But I think Errol Spence targeted certain fighters. He wanted to fight certain fighters, but not everyone. You know what I'm saying? So that's what people do. Not everyone. You know what I'm saying? So that's what people do. Hey, you want to fight this guy, you want to fight Thurman, but you don't want to fight Crawford. Or if you don't want to fight Crawford, you don't want to but you want to fight Danny Garcia. I'll fight him, but I don't want to fight you. You know what I mean? So I think that's what that is. Um, Well, I mean, hey, Trip. Here's the thing: people keep saying Kel was damaged, but I mean, do you think he wasn't? Do you think his bone wasn't broke? Do you think Golovkin didn't break his shit? You know what I mean? That's the question you ask yourself because you know what I mean. That's the question you ask yourself because that's what the reports were, right? I mean, and then you ask yourself, how long does it take your face to heal? Like for real, you know? Punch quote formerly Triple H 1200 looking at how the fight went. Brook probably takes the early rounds and probably moves late to get it to the 12th. I think it would have turned into a controversial split decision. Double SB 28, what's up? Kind of punch to you guys. HR, what's going on, brother? Yep, smash the like button. It's a small crowd today. I know it's kind of late. I wanted to get on this chat to talk about Errol Spence because a lot of people don't understand. Errol Spence he's a champion. I think he has potential, but I think he's hindered. I think that Errol Spence could be so much more than what he was. He started right. He sparred Mayweather, and Mayweather was impressed with him. And then that went viral. Because a lot of people were like, "Man, you see this new kid Errol Spence? He really got with fucking Floyd." You know what I mean? So that should tell you something. But here's the thing: he got with Floyd because of the pressure. You see what I'm saying? A pure boxer like Floyd will have problems. That's why Floyd had problems and challenges, should I say, with Maidana, because Maidana was a pressure fighter, and then Errol Spence, I could see why he would give him problems. Okay. I think Errol Spence still has to prove himself a little bit. If he can win comfortably Saturday, then Errol is the truth. You know what? I'll go with that. This is a big question. This is a big test. Double SB 28. I think that he has to be tested. Look, here's the thing. With Errol Spence, the problem with boxers of today, they think they fight or they beat this particular person. They think they've arrived. You never arrive in boxing. I don't give a fuck who you are, right? It could be Lomachenko, you could be Crawford. Look, you have to continue beating the best next competition. That's what's got to happen. You can't sit there and say, "Hey, man, you know what? I beat Sean Porter, so you know what? I'm here now. I can fight whoever the fuck I want." It doesn't work that way. People try to be like Mayweather, but they don't understand. Before money, there was Pretty Boy. Pretty Boy fought everyone. He fought people that he wanted to fight people that didn't want to fight him. They ducked him. So it is what it is. I mean, Spence, yes, that would be a good win, a good solid win for Spence if he can beat Porter, right? If he can beat Porter, yeah, we'll know he's on a certain level that he beat Kell Brook, then he beat Porter. But Kell Brook gave him problems. You know what I'm saying? And then Kell Brook had a hell of a fight with Porter. So for people to think, oh, Spence is going to go through and run through Porter, they got a sad thing coming. They got another thing coming. And if he does, again, like my fight study, I would be impressed. I would be very impressed, but I will have to analyze it fairly. Fairly saying that look at the height difference on Spence. Spence has that motherfucker from how tall is Sean Porter? About 5'8", 5'7", 5'8", right? Um, okay. He's about the same height as Mikey Garcia, a little bit taller, right? So he's better with fighting shorter guys. He can see their shoulders and shit, what they do, their reactions. You know what I mean? Who do I pick Spencer Porter? I pick Porter because of the experience. And I think Porter is focused. I'm not sure about Errol Spence, but Errol Spence has the same demeanor all the time. So he can look laid back or whatever, like he just smoked a blunt or whatever. But he hasn't yet not came to fight. You know what I'm saying? So I can't say, oh, well, he's this, that, and the other. No, it's the experience, I think. I think that he, let's see if Errol Spence can rise to the occasion. That's what we need to figure out Saturday. If he can't do that, because he had some hurdles to jump over in the Kell Brook fight until he started chopping him down and breaking him down with combinations and pressure combinations with Kell Brook. But then he fucked up Kell Brook's eye. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Kurt, Errol Spence is the truth. H Money, Mr. DAZN. We will find out Saturday if he is truthful, if there's any truth to him. We're going to find that out Saturday. Okay? Now get this. Now here's the thing. If Errol Spence goes in there and fights one hell of a fight with Sean Porter, don't fucking shit on Errol Spence. Just understand something. He was in there with a guy that he's never been in there with before. He's never done that. He's never been to this level before. He thought he had with Kell Brook. Those triangle theories don't work. So don't be surprised if, oh shit, he loses a split decision loss, something like that. So a close fight. That won't be, what if Sean Porter loses? He might want a rematch. Okay, well, here's the deal. That just shows you what level these guys are at. When people rise up, level up in opposition, you see less mistakes, right? Because you have better competition, right? So you're not going to be doing an Ocampo or a Bondu or a Chris Algieri. You're just chopping this motherfucker down because he can't handle your power, right? You don't have this type of dude at all. You don't have that. Funny, he wanted to fight Thurman when Keith Thurman was injured. Errol was just clout chasing. HR. I don't know. Because I think that he wanted Keith Thurman. I can understand why he wanted Keith Thurman, because Keith Thurman was once where he is or supposedly is now, right? He was undefeated. But here's the thing. I don't see Errol really hungry no more. You know what I'm saying? I don't see him hungry no more. I think that when he got the IBF belt, then he wanted to fight Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman wouldn't give him that opportunity due to, the injuries or whatever. But then I think he wanted to wait people out. I think either he got discouraged, maybe, unfocused. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe that happened to him, right? So I don't know if he was clout chasing. I just know he wanted to really fuck up Keith Thurman. No, I want that guy, right? So Kevin Lopez, like my boy Chisora said, no one cares about the little guys. It's all about the heavyweights now. Damn. The heavyweight division is buzzing, and it's buzzing around a few fighters. I think fights like this keep the sport overall, hot, you know what I mean, or warm, but like the heavyweight division is on fire at times. It's fiery, you know what I'm saying? So some truth to that, but you can't forget about the middleweight division, but here's the thing, in each division, people are bullshitting. The only thing we have, we do have Fury, Wilder. Then we have Ruiz, Joshua, right? We have these fights. I know we have Ruiz, Joshua, because, depending on how Fury's eye heals or whatnot, we don't know. So it is what it is. I want Pac to beat Spence so badly, but I think Pac won't fight him until he fights Crawford, and Pac fights for all the belts. That would be smart for Pacquiao. If he's going to do it for all the marbles. Don't go in there and you just fought in a hell of a fight with Keith Thurman. You don't need to go in there and prove nothing to Spence. Still needs to prove something to himself and other people, including me. He needs to prove it, you know? Kurt Ugas beat Sean Porter. H Money, Mr. The Zone. You damn right he did. Sean Porter lost to Ugas. But Ugas is little known. He doesn't have a country behind him. He's from another country that doesn't even support professional boxing. You know, he's like a stranger in this land, a talented stranger in this land with really no claim to it. You know what I mean? He's just fighting in it. So everything is against him. Real talk. He's not the favorite. Okay, it's sad, but it's true. These are the politics of boxing. It's the sport that I love, that I hate so much. It is what it is. But Ugas, you're right. Ugas did beat. He did beat Porter. That was a fucking knockdown too in the 12th. You know what I mean? So, and it's funny how Errol Spence, you know, if I'm Errol Spence though, he's too dry. He talks though. He is who he is. He is who he is. I mean, but at the end of the day, like if I'm Errol, if I wanted to get under Sean Porter's skin, I'd be like, dude, Ugas fucked you up. Ugas dropped you and they robbed Ugas. I should be fighting Ugas right now. You shouldn't even be there. You shouldn't even have that belt. That's what I look. I would have went off on Porter. I would have made Porter cuss. You know, Porter's a clean cut guy. You know what I mean? What about you, sir? What about you, sir? What have you? What opposition have you fought in, sir? Now I'd have made him cuss. Bitch, I mean, I'd have made him mad because I know how to get to him because that fight was just too close. You know what I mean? But the reason why they gave him the victory because they would rather market Porter and Spence versus Spence and Ugas. You know what I'm saying? And then Ugas is one of those guys that also loves going to the body, and a smart fighter like that, he could fuck up everything. They don't want that. Look, they got those Cubans down there. They got Cubans placed all over the place. Talented people, but they know they don't market them. They don't market them right. I think they're discriminated against, and they're not the favored. Okay, the black fighters and the Mexican fighters, but when you come to Cuban fighters, they're not. It's like a down. They don't look at them the same. You see what I'm saying? Like look at Luis Ortiz. Why didn't he get that fucking deal? They pissed over him because they didn't want him to have that type of money, that type of power. So we're gonna, they're gonna fuck over him. You know, Lara, look at all those fucking decisions Lara lost. You know what I mean? Including this one, right? So yeah, I mean, Ugas is another thing. You know, they weren't going to give a fight to Ugas. I mean, Ugas is a good fighter. He beat Figueroa's ass, though, didn't he not? So he's back in the saddle. He's a force to be reckoned with. I hope one day, with someone with less politics behind their name, he will beat them and they will grant him a decision. I was honestly scared and worried that they was going to fuck him on that Figueroa fight. You know what I mean? Spence is going in there overconfident. He may be Jack Daniels. He may be. Spence is rated on potential. Underestimating Porter. Yeah, Jack Daniels, I agree with you. But again, we got to see on the day. But I think Porter's more. I think Porter wants it more. That's my thing. I think because Porter ain't gonna let nobody just beat him up. Like Spence told him, like, you know what, you're just a in shape street fighter. Okay, yeah. You look like you swim. You fighting to swim. You fighting for your life. That's how you look like you fight, like you drowning. You know what I mean? I think that pissed Porter off some though. I think it got to him a little bit. Spence is a hype job until he proves himself. Mando solo es. Yep, I believe that. I mean, and see, here's the thing. Here's my thing about Spence. You have to be smelling yourself only beating the people you've beat and think the way you think already. Like, I'm the best fighter in the world. I'm the best ever. I can beat all those guys. I'm the A side against Crawford. Like, wait a minute, dude. You ain't done what fucking Crawford's done. You ain't jumped weight classes took all them belts, then fucking repeated it at another weight class, got 2 Ring Magazine belts, came to another weight class, wanting to fight. He hasn't done any of that. He's been an IBF champion since 2017. Case closed. And what? He's beat Kell Brook. He's beat Bundu. He's beat who else? Chris Algieri. Fuck, Chris Algieri been beat by Amir Khan and beat. He first got beat by Pacquiao. Like he's been beaten before, people. He's not that. He will. It's not like who is Chris Algieri really? I like the guy, nutritionist and shit. He's in the wrong profession. He's be a fucking model or something. But at the end of the day, he knew he wasn't even supposed to be at 147. You know what I mean? He went back to 140 and went back down there because he knew that was his desired weight. Right? So, but based on the opposition, just be humble. That's my thing about Spence. If he would just been humble, like, dude, I really ain't done half of what I know I can do in this weight division, I would have bought that because you ain't did shit enough to say I'm the shit already. Does that make sense to people? People think I hate on Spence. I don't hate on Spence. I think he's a good fighter, but the way he talks like he's already beat Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, all these motherfuckers, right? And the rest ducked him. That hasn't happened. He's just now fighting Sean Porter out of those 3 guys, the 3 top dudes at PBC, And he just stumbles over every opportunity to talk about Crawford. He puts Crawford at the very fucking end. Those things I don't like, And that's how I'm figuring, like, maybe they're just hyping him up a bit because, they're trying to market this guy. He's undefeated. And I understand fighting someone like Crawford ain't a fucking walk in the park, people. It ain't. But come on, just be real about yourself. Like, look, I know Crawford's a tough fight for me, but I know that's on another network, but let me take care of these people. Then we'll come over to fight that person. That makes more sense to me. Not the shit he's talking. Not him and his fucked up trainer talking all that. It's not cool. I think Spence starts off a little slow in his fight. Spence was slow against Kell Brook and even had some 50-50 rounds early against Micah Garcia. Porter starts fast so he can get. He may, because, Porter comes out like a rocket, like a fucking little running back, don't he? Don't he come out? Double SB 28. Don't he come out like shit, like he's hot? You know what I mean? Z22, hot. He hits the hole. So he comes out. So, Porter comes out full intensity. Now, I do, that's how Errol Spence, he does start slow. He kind of reminds me of Trinidad because Trinidad's a slow starter. You got to get his engine running first. You know what I mean? He might take a couple pops. You might knock him down, but he's coming back, right? The thing is, I haven't seen, Spence on his ass. He ain't as tender-footed early on as somebody like Trinidad. What about to outwork Spence? He could outwork Spence. It could be one of them things he outworks his opponent. Out hustles him, outworks him, outgrinds him, outwills him. And then that comes from experience. That's coming from, look, I'm showing these judges that I want to win this fight. It could be one of those things like, I haven't really seen Errol Spence do anything. And I think what Errol Spence will try to do, Errol Spence will try to throw and land solid punches. But I think Sean Porter will throw more and land more. You know what I mean? Versus Spence will be probably trying to look for punches that are putting him down. He wants those man down punches. Brook was a broken fighter, and Brook is a quitter. Fraud who's fought nothing but bums. Ooh. Counterpunch Mandasolo S. Like, hey, there's some truth to that. Got a counterpunch. Got a counterpunch with you. There's some truth to that because look, when Kell Brook beat Porter, Kell Brook didn't want the rematch. Kell Brook didn't want to fight people. I think he wanted to fight Khan or something, but that kept falling through. But everybody else that wanted to fight Kell Brook, he stood over in the UK and was like, fuck it, I ain't doing nothing. I ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? And it really, Errol Spence had to come to England to fight him. He was the mandatory. Now IBF don't play. If you're the mandatory of the IBF, you're getting your shot, right? So yeah, I mean, he went up there and just got pissed Golovkin off, I mean, he got some good shots off, but he should have fought Golovkin from the back foot. And he tried, but Golovkin that Golovkin changed to me. Golovkin ain't the same fighter he used to be. He'll still knock you out, or regular Steve Rose, Vanes Martirosyan, guys like that. But I want to see Triple G in there with someone worth a damn. But when he fought Golovkin, he pissed Golovkin off. When he hit Golovkin with that uppercut, and that's what made him mad. Okay, drama show. He went in there and fucked him up and broke his fucking face. You know what I mean? So Gerald Brook was damaged goods after the Triple G fight. Yeah, I just said it. This is Jonathan Simon. Counterpunch to you. He got fucked up. He pissed Golovkin off. You don't go way up there trying to do that type of shit. You trying to knock me out, huh? You out there got caught with an uppercut. Oh, you really trying to knock me out? Yeah. And here's the thing though. You know what though? Quitting. I think he might have quit in that fucking Spence fight. Because you think about it, he didn't really look. He really didn't do that same song and dance with Golovkin, and we know Golovkin fucked his face up, right? Golovkin fucked his face up. So we're thinking like, okay, Golovkin fucked his face off, but he was still on his feet. Well, with Errol Spence, it was like, okay, well, hey, what the hell? I'm taking a knee. Oh, my eye. Oh, oh, right? He wasn't doing that shit with Golovkin, right? Now, so you got two cases where two different guys broke, a portion of your face. And one reaction is all like, oh, I'm still up. What are you doing? Why are you stopping the fight? Well, in the fucking Spence fight, he was like, dude, fuck this. He took a knee. He bent the knee. He bent the knee. Jack Daniel Spence Jr. has overrated power. That could be true because, like, what did he do really with Mikey Garcia? You know what I mean? He's supposed to put his ass away. No doubt about it. Like Algieri, think about it. Algieri was dropped by Pacquiao 6 times, right? Dropped by Ruslan Provandikov in a war, but he came back, showed hearts that he could fight, but taking punches, he's not the greatest at. So, Mikey Garcia is just a tough Mexican, man. You know what I mean? So you got to ask yourself, you got a smaller Mexican that can take Errol Spence's punches. And Errol Spence said, well, I carried him at one point, but then at another point on that show of Sean Porter, he said that I was disappointed because I didn't get the knockout. So we don't really know. So there may be some truth to that. Maybe. Sean Peterson, counterpunch to you back, Sean. Errol Spence will knock out Sean Porter. We got to see, man. We got to see. Spence is going to beat the brakes off of Porter. NO. 100. That's a counterpunch. Love the predictions. Keep them coming. Lewis, as a boxing fan, we should like all divisions. It's all boxing. Counterpunch, Lewis. Absolutely. Absolutely. It shouldn't be about one weight class or whatnot. It should be about everybody. Right? Remember we used to like what the fucking happened to all those good fights like Barrera Morales and Princess Ahmed. You got all these guys that was down there. What happened to these fights, man? Like, fuck, what happened to Rigondeaux? What the fuck happened? Like, I mean, you got Gary Russell down there. They ain't letting him fight because they ain't, he wants to fight Leo Santa Cruz. That shit ain't happening. He's even trying to threaten his dad, like, gesturing a threat. Not really a threat. But nothing's happening down there, though, man. It's like everything's on freeze, What the fuck Tank Davis doing at 130? He goes to 135. What the fuck is he going to do? What has he done? He's made smaller guys move up. So it's like it's shit that we can't really ride with there. You know what I mean? Okay, 135, you got Loma there, and, Lopez is there, and, you got Shakur Stevenson. It's really too few in between, though. We got to find some potential in other areas. Okay, Crawford, they are ignoring the idea of the WBO being a legitimate belt just to avoid that fight. So I'm like, that ain't gonna happen. Fuck. So I mean, what is the big fight? Okay, did 160? What's the big fight at 160? We've seen Canelo and Golovkin twice. What is the big, like, what, where is it? You guys tell me, where is like the big fights, right? Fuck, the biggest thing that happened this year, Joshua got upset. That's it. Everybody's been talking about that shit ever since. Okay? So, I mean, Canelo's fighting at 175. Okay, might be a catch weight or some old rehydration bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like it's nothing really to get you started, to really get you wanting to follow other weight classes, because there's nothing really happening there. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just it's not fast enough. It's not coming fast enough. You know. Brooke was just as fake and fraudulent as Spence, who has Brooke beat. Who has Brooke? I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see who gets what. Errol Spence is gonna Mayweather Porter, bedazzle him with footwork and skill. Yeah, right. Adam Graham. He ain't gonna do that shit. He gonna try to get the knockout. He try to beat up the smaller dude, and the smaller dude gonna try to beat him up. That's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be a lot of fighting in this fight. There ain't gonna be a lot of boxing. Errol Spence is gonna try to box to try to showcase those boxing skills, but that ain't gonna work with Porter. Porter gonna go. He gonna slip under that shit, throw a punch, do some wrestling, get his ass in the ropes, and try to rip shots to the body. Nasty hooks. You know what I mean? And we'll see if Errol Spence can pull out of there or spin out of there and insult his own punches, because Porter's moving forward. He'll kind of jab in, you know what I mean, and especially he's coming from a southpaw stance. He's going to be using his right all night, you know. Weight bully. The one thing you can say about Spence, you call him a weight bully if you want, but he makes weight. And actually, Porter was the one that had to chop his fucking hair off just to make weight. So, if I was Pacquiao, I would tell Spence to face Crawford first. HR, that would be a perfect idea. You know what I would do? I would do what Floyd Mayweather did to Keith Thurman. That's exactly what Floyd did. You know what? I don't think you're not on my level. I think you need to fight. You need to fight Spence. Yeah. Prove yourself to Spence first, and then come holler at me. By the way, I'm out. I'm fighting Birdo. I'm gone. TBE, baby. That shit. So, it is what it is. I think that Manny should just call shots. Because look, Manny didn't have to do the shit he did. He didn't have to get in there with Keith Thurman, but he did. He got in there with Keith Thurman. It was a big fight. Keith Thurman sold that fight. Keith Thurman was charismatic. Keith Thurman was he was a classy loser. You know what I mean? He handled that defeat really well, and I gained much respect for Keith Thurman. First of all, he got what he wanted. He spoke it, believed it, received it, and he got it because he wanted that fight for a long time. So back since 17, he wanted to put hands on Pacquiao, and he got that opportunity. You know what I mean? If I was Pacquiao, I would. Let's see. Yeah. So definitely HR. Definitely. Yeah, there is weight bullies. Look at Spence. He's huge. Look at Hurd. Look at Callum Smith and Munguia. All these dudes are weight bullies. I'm the weight bully. Shit, going in there, But that's why Canelo has those hydration clauses to keep people from blowing up. That kind of puts me in the mind of if you guys can remember, if you watch boxing like I did, there was a fight between Arturo Gatti and Joey Gamache. Joey Gamache was 140 pound junior welterweight bout. Gotti made weight, but that motherfucker blew up to 160. So Gamache came in there and he looked like he looked like a big ass Van Damme or something. You know what I mean? He looked like a Universal Soldier. And he knocked out Gamache so bad that, Gamache, I think he sued. I think he got some money because of I don't know how that really went. But of course, Joey Gamache is the trainer of Otto Wallin now. So, that same guy got knocked out by Gotti years ago. I mean, bad. He hit him with a right uppercut, left uppercut, and right, hit him. Bow, bow, bow. No, hit him with a left uppercut, a right uppercut, then another left, and hit. You could see in slow mo, his eyes were already back behind his head. He was knocked out before he hit the canvas. Then his head crashed on the canvas. He was knocked out for maybe a minute or so. It was nasty. Go look at Gotti and Gamache, and that shows you. That weight bully accusation. People accusing people of being a weight bully. I don't think Gotti intentionally did it. I think he's just a big boned dude. You know what I mean? But yeah, that that shit was bad. There are weight classes for a reason, people. Yeah, Spence is ducking Crawford big time. Yes, he is, Manda Solo S. I do agree. You know what I mean? Ortiz should sue Heyman for losing out of 5 million. You know what, Luis should, because they fucked that guy. That's bad, dude. I don't really want to talk about that. Bob Weaver, he's certainly good, but he'll never be an all-time great without facing adversity and other greats, and he's heavily protected and seemingly a bit cowardly. Yeah, Bob Weaver, it like the way he talks. Why would the fuck would you want to fight a 40? Like, here's my thing. There's no integrity with Spence, though. Think about it. And I'm not hating on Spence. I'm just calling like I see it. Okay, you fight a smaller dude from 135. You know that if you care about your fans or spectators or criticizers, you know what the first thing they're going to say. Or let's put it this way. If Spence was a person of integrity, okay, if he cared about fighting smaller, if he cared about, well, fairity and what's fair about it, like, why would I want Mikey Garcia to fight me? I don't want to fight Mikey Garcia. He's too small. But in fact, he had the mind, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to go fight him. I'm going to knock him out. Yeah, he got a lot of fans, Mexican fan bases. And I know that's really the pitch from it. And really, Mikey wanted that. Mikey wanted that shit. So, and Mikey should have stayed at 135 to fought Loma. That would have been a better fight for him. That's the fucking super fight. Now Loma's sitting down there fucking twiddling his thumbs without a dance partner. Superb boxer without any chance of making any legacy. You know what I mean? And Spence is sitting there, okay, you fought a smaller dude, beat him. Now you want to fight an older dude. What kind of fucking champion are you, really? Do you really want to fight the best? Ain't nothing wrong with Crawford. Crawford ain't over the hill. Crawford ain't too young. Ain't too small. Crawford ain't too old. He's not none of that. He is in his prime. Why would you want to fight someone that, you beat Pacquiao? If he fights Pacquiao, you beat Pacquiao when he's fucking 40. 41. You beat a 41-year-old Pacquiao? Oh, congratulations. Oh, you beat a fucking little ass dude? Oh, congratulations. Oh, and that makes me the fucking truth? Come on, man. That's what I don't like about it. That's exactly what I don't like about Errol Spence. See, that type of shit, he should want to say, he should have the mind to be like, you know what, I'm not fighting an older guy or a smaller guy. I have the huge advantage. My age is the huge advantage, and my size is the huge advantage over Mikey Garcia. Why would I want to do that? You know what I mean? I'm not about that life, but he is. You know what I mean? So yeah, that is a sense of cowardness, because you're not trying to fight the best. You're trying to fight you're trying to fight the best person that you feel that you can beat, or the easiest person or the easiest situation. It's not about the easiest in the sport of boxing. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be that guy. I was actually a Spence fan, and I thought he was good for boxing, calling out people, ducking him until he changed his tune changed when it came to Bud. Yeah, it changed. Like, okay, a guy jumps over 140. He fought at 140. Okay, Michael Garcia fought at 140 once before, but he came from 135. People, he was a belt holder at 135. He went to 147 to challenge Errol Spence, but then it's like, okay, you challenged Mikey Garcia because he called you out. Crawford called you out. Now you got it fucking excuses. Come on, dude. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't. Those promotional companies That's all bullshit. Don't believe any of it. You know, people saying, oh man, it's the side of the street. He created that shit. Who said side of the street before Errol Spence did? He made that shit up. Why? Because he wanted to create a diverse or division, right? He wanted to separate. He wanted to drive a wedge in between him and Crawford because he knew Crawford, one of them dudes that already told him to his face, you better not try to go to the body. You better not try that. You know, and it's almost like, well, Spence, dude, this is what you want. This is what you want, Spence. Call Al Heyman, make the fucking fight happen. And like Floyd, you say, make the fucking fight happen. That's what he should be. You know, but he's not that guy. He's not the guy we thought he was. You see what I'm saying? And here's the thing. I think he's fighting Sean Porter because he feels he can beat Sean Porter. I think he's not fighting Crawford because he doesn't know if he can beat Crawford. You see what I'm saying? That's my counterpunch on that. You know? Kurt, it's not his fault everybody ducked. Spence, Garcia, Keith Thurman, and Sean Porter. Money, check this out. Why are you leaving off Crawford off the list? See, that's the problem. Since those guys either didn't want to fight him or ducked him, right? What are your other options? You know, here's the thing. You got to create a legacy. You can't just sit around and wait for Al Heyman. And look at Gary Russell Jr. He's going to get fucked with because he wants to make a fight with a guy. He doesn't give a fuck about what Al Heyman says. Al Heyman is ignoring him. And then at the same time, he's not allowing him fights. But if he's saying, hey, man, I'm going to give you a fight, he'll just give you any old bullshit fight. He might pay you well, but you're going to be stagnant, especially if you want to progress in your career. He's not the dude for people. He's not the best for boxing when it comes to that. You want to get fighters paid. You want someone to love or to respect or whatever, like the Godfather. Yeah, he's for you. But if you don't want legacy and you don't want to fight the best, go with Al Heyman. Al Heyman will shit. He'll see you're a good guy, and then that's what happens. That's what happened to guys like what's his name up in the Haitian fighter. Now I just said his name today. He fought Hot Rod, and I think Hot Rod beat him. And I didn't like him ever since then. But he gets upset with a bad clash. Shit, I'll remember it here soon. But it's like, okay, Cotton Patch 2000. Is this a discussion? Or are we supposed to? Okay. All right. Porter had his friend in referee, so Porter has a friend in the referee, so there will be headbutts. I don't know. Wait a minute, Cotton Patch. Are we comparing this to his last fight with Ugas? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we don't know who the referee is going to be. Let's see who the referee was that last time. Who was that? Let's see. Because referees are a big deal, and referees can be just as corrupt and full of shit as anybody else, you know, just as much as judges, you know. I think his name was Lawrence Cole. He was the one that was refereeing the Lomachenko-Salido fight and all those damn low blows that he said nothing about. Nothing about, you know. Matter of fact, he cautioned Lomachenko for shit he was doing, like little trivial shit, you know. Okay. Porter will fight to survive against Errol Spence. He won't be a dog. Ooh, I don't know. I've never seen Sean Porter try to survive. So if that happens, I will be very impressed. Porter's dad stopped this fight. Porter's dad stops this fight. Show me. Counterpunch to you. Damn. Bold prediction. Bold prediction. Let's see. See, box rec. Who just beat Jeff Horn? Who beat Manny Pacquiao? Well, well, here's the thing. Jeff Horn moved weight classes, right? Do you think Spence will call out Canelo after he wins the fight? Daniel Vasquez. You know what? If he wins the fight and he goes, if he wins and he goes and he calls out Canelo, I would love that fight to happen. I would love for him to fight Canelo because he already said that he would stop Golovkin. He would stop Canelo, right? Andre Golden or Goudin, counterpunch to you, brother. What's happening? We're talking about Spence. Is he the truth or is he hype? You guys tell me. Better two F words in 30 seconds this time. Okay, Cotton Patch. This is not a censored stream. This is an emotional sport. So, yeah, if I drop an F bomb, my mistake, but it is my stream. So, sorry if that offends you. Yeah, Shakur Stevenson is at 126. Devin Haney is the next Mayweather. We got to see about that. I want to see what that guy can do. Let's see. Okay. Canelo's going to look beefed up at 175. Yeah, he's going to look like he's been taking that clenbuterol. Kevin, kind of punch to you. Anyone know any other live boxing chats coming up? I don't know. You should maybe find one. You have a lot. It's a lot of boxing channels out there. That's what I would recommend to you. I'm hoping Sean Porter beats Spence. Yeah, it would be good. It would be good for Spence. I think it would bring him down a notch. I honestly think it could humble him. Kevin Lopez, Kurt, can you host your YouTube videos on my website? I don't know. I guess you could put the link. I mean, I don't know. Inbox me. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it, Kevin. We'll definitely talk about it. Spence is actually smaller than Lubin, Trout, and Lara, and they are small for 154. 147 just has short welterweights, and Leonard, Hearns, Williams were all 5'10" to 6'1". And it is true. You know, Sean Porter is going to get mangled. It'll be a sad thing to watch. Counterpunch to the boxing nerd. The punch quote is 100% correct. We will never find out, unfortunately. I just watched your video where you where you supposedly state the best boxing channels. Thanks for nothing. Okay. Well, I don't know what to tell you on that. All right. Salute, fam. Love the grind. Cutthroat Sports. Counterpunch to you. Appreciate your support. Spence parties like a rapper. Yeah, he does, man. I think I was looking at Spence, and he was in the press conference. He looks high. Spence looks high to me. You know what I mean? He looks like he's partying. If he hang out with the Charlos, they all get blasted. Ain't no telling what kind of substance they're on. What kind of banned substance that they're on, So you can see it in his face. He carries a ton of fluid. Yeah, yeah, he does. You see that weight? He dropped now. If his face is not as full, so you can tell he knows when to start cutting that weight. You know, keeping it 100. MH 1986. What's good, bro? Shouts out from the UK. Counterpunch to you, brother. Thank you for being up. I know. Oh, actually, it's early over there. Uh, a lot of fighters bypass the threat fights. Yeah, a lot of them do, Jonathan Simon, unfortunately. You know, and it could be a good thing and bad thing. Only the good thing is, let's say, it's all about being real, man. Just being real with yourself. Like, look, you know what? That's a risky fight. Matchmaking and stuff like that. Sometimes you have to take risks. Sometimes you have to do and have those fights that's not necessarily the star fight or the fight you're going to make the most money, but it's the fight that the fans will respect you. You know, 8 million versus another 500K to get knocked out by Wilder. I wouldn't even pull Wilder after the crap they pulled off. Yeah, it was bad, man. I look, you know what? I hope Luis Ortiz does to Deontay Wilder like Marquez did to Pacquiao. You know what I mean? I like just knock him out cold. No one can do anything about it. No one can say, they'll try to give him 12 seconds. It ain't gonna, knock him out cold. He comes in with a flying right and gets countered. Bow! Over with. You know? Because they're not gonna stop it. You've seen the assault in the seventh round. They could have stopped that fight. They probably should have, but they weren't gonna do it. They were gonna let Deontay Wilder get hit 100 more times if it took for him to survive that round. They might have gave him a minute. No, let's see what's going on with his eyes. Let's check him out now after the after the 60 seconds that we supposed to done it. You know, Crawford an embarrassment and a big L on his record, but it is a legacy fight, so his career would survive. Well, he would, but he just shows that he's not better than Crawford, and I think the ego side of him would hate that. I think he would go. I think he would pull an Adrian Broner. Honestly, I don't think he would be the same person if he got in there and fought someone like Crawford, and Crawford just beat him. If Crawford beat him like Floyd beat uh, Corrales, you know what I'm saying? Because Corrales was that guy. He was that guy at 130. He was like 33-0 or 34-0 with like 29 knockouts or something like that. A high knockout percentage. Goes in there and fights Floyd and gets demolished from a shorter, quicker, sharper fighter. Pretty boy Floyd, man. He ain't no joke. I can't lie, I'm a fan of Spence, but I don't like his talk when it comes to Crawford. At times, it seems like he don't want the Crawford fight, but as far as Pacquiao, he has a belt. So yeah, it's annoying to hear. It's annoying to keep hearing Spence talk and preach about Pacquiao, but then yet you blame Timothy Bradley for ducking you when I think he was like 15-0 or some shit like that, right? Okay. But then Timothy Bradley fought the guy that you're trying to fight and beat that guy, decision that guy, right? So make that make sense. Makes no sense. you know? Not protecting your boxer long enough to make the money, and yep, in between, that's it. Double E Herbalist, what's up? Counter to you. Full auto. Not a fan of the hype, though. Don't get me wrong. Everybody wants the Pacquiao fight. Yeah, they do want the Pacquiao fight because they know the money's there. I think Keith Thurman made $5 million, right? Errol Spence said he'll fight Crawford if the Pac fight don't happen. Okay, we'll see. Because I don't think Manny Pacquiao is going to fight Errol Spence. I don't think they're interested in that fight. Matter of fact, they already said it. It's like a high risk, low reward fight. Why would I want to fight this guy? Screw the belts he has. He's he's not me. you know? PBC fighters don't want smoke except Gary Russell Jr. The Bane 1986. Yep, that's the only person that doesn't fight. When Al Heyman when you piss him off, you ain't getting the fight. I'm sorry. You're not getting the fight. Suleiman, Goodfellas, Pulp Fiction 100, right? Fighters want to skip to money, Mayweather without going through the pretty boy stage. Absolutely. Suleiman, counterpunch, great counterpunch. That's absolutely true. These guys don't really want to do what Floyd did, and they don't realize what Floyd had to do to get to where he was. Okay? People don't understand that about Floyd. People just want to emulate the last 5 years Floyd has fought. And now all these fighters are acting like Floyd in the last 5 years of his career, which people hated, by the way. They hated those fights. The best fights he did was who? Canelo. I mean, who the hell else was it? He fought El Chino when really El Chino Maidana should have fought Adrian Broner in a rematch. So Adrian Broner could fucking save face. He snatched that opportunity from him, fought him, got himself into a fucking fight, fought him again. So, like, then you fight Pacquiao. Okay, biggest fight ever. All right. Floyd does the smartest thing possible. Manny comes in with a bunch of punches, tie him up. He showed people, well, what are you going to do when he throws 10, 11 punches? Tie him up. I'm getting money. And Floyd's motto turned into, there's nothing cool about taking punishment. See, these guys don't want punishment. They don't want those hard fights because they've been reading the Mayweather Bible, right? Inspired by Al Heyman. See what I'm saying? So that's what it is. And then these guys want to, hey, yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, I fight Crawford after I fight Pacquiao and fight Danny Garcia. Then I got Ugas, or I might go to 154. I'm like, whoa, where are you going? I'm like Mike Tyson, where you going? Where you going? You gotta fight here. No, he's not doing it. Those dudes don't want that fight because they know Crawford is the truth. He's the guy that wants to show you who he really is. Right? Let's move on. I would love to see Canelo versus Spence, if not Crawford. I would love that too, Jonathan Simon. And you know what? That'll be the norm, though. Think about it. Think about it, Jonathan. Think of it like this. Wouldn't that be the norm? Think about it. Mikey Garcia went to 147 from 135, right? Kell Brook went from 147 to 160, right? Canelo's attempting to do that, right? But he's doing it in steps. You know what I mean? So yeah, but Canelo don't count because he's already beaten. But these undefeated guys, what they'll do, they want to take a badge of honor. They want to take that honorary loss. I think that's what it is. Like one of them kamikaze brave losses. You know what I mean? So it's one of them things where, hey, if I go up there, I'm gonna fight. Now I could be a superstar if I beat Canelo, but more than likely you won't. You know what I mean? Because Canelo looks very good at 160. You know? But anyway. But I would give Spence props because what you can't say Spence is a weight bully, right? You can't say he's a weight bully because he's moving up in weight. How will he look at that weight? Will he be more powerful at that weight? Like guys like Vinny Pazienza was actually stronger. You know? He's saying, I'll stop Golovkin. You remember that? You guys don't remember Spence started talking a little early, a little too, I stopped Golovkin. Whoa, you Golovkin? Like Triple G Golovkin? Are you talking about Max Golovkin? You ain't talking about Max Golovkin, are you? Oh, no, Gennady Golovkin. Okay. And I'm thinking, okay, this guy's getting too big for his britches. That's the first thing I thought. Well, you know, it is what it is. Errol Spence said he'll fight Crawford in late 2020 or early 2021. Ooh, How old is Crawford now? Because you know Crawford did mention retirement. He mentioned retirement, guys. So, okay. Yeah, 87. Okay, so see, he's 31, so he's a couple years older than Spence. So Spence has the age advantage, but it's like, okay, well, that makes him 33. Um, Maybe that's the way of like kind of pushing Crawford out. You know what I mean? Because Crawford is the guy that's taking the risk. He's making those risky fights. He's fighting undefeated fighters. Um, he has his mandatory coming up. So, you know, hopefully they hope he loses by then. And then they don't have to worry about him. They don't have to worry about people talking about him. And then when he loses, then they can create a whole new narrative. See, I told you I would have beat Crawford. See, he got beat by so-and-so. That's how it works. But you just got this guy that's legitimately trying to fight the top guys or the best available opponents. That sounds like someone else I know. I'm not gonna mention any names though. Can you believe I paid $25 for my movie theater ticket? Spence Porter, Manny Thurman was $12. Ooh, that sucks, belly wank. That sucks. I think the weight I think the weight cut for Spence is messing with his head. I think this is because Spence was talking about going to 154 in the middle of a weight cut. Yeah, yeah, that is a trip. And you start talking about and mentioning other weight classes that may be your way of hinting that you may not can make weight. You know, Jr. Counterpunch to you, man. Welcome to the live stream. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Hope you're enjoying it. You know what I mean? Spence chills with the Broner, Tank Davis, Charlo, Click. Yeah, those guys are more like rappers. Yeah, they are. Taking $40,000 in a bag. You know what I mean? Like, dude, come on, man. In a bag, that's Floyd Mayweather shit. There's more Floyd stuff, more Floyd's scriptures. You gotta have a mad amount of money in a bag. You gotta carry it around with you. It just show you got clout. You got cheese at all time. Then it ended up stolen, right? Someone stole the bag. It's crazy, man. Spence looking passport. I smell an upset. Ooh, counterpunch to you, Jr. Upset. But I wouldn't call it an upset for people. The LDBC, the people that love Spence like that, yeah, they would be devastated. Oh man, Porter, upset. This is very bad, victory. I mean, it's a surprising victory. Oh man, wow. you know, Flip decision for Bradley over Pacquiao. Absolutely, I do agree. I do agree, but it's official. It's official. You know what I mean? Maybe Russell's next fight will be a family dinner, a family diner. Okay. I think Spence is underestimating Porter. You say it might be boring. Crawford is the best right now, not Lomo or Spence. His record don't lie. No, his record don't lie, and the things that he's done doesn't lie. Okay, results. Porter fights a bit like Larte. Even though Larte got one punch, Spence was beating him up, and that's an early version of Spence. Porter is getting punished. Ooh, hey, we got to find out. Spence hasn't fought anyone great yet. He fought Horn, and that's it. Or am I wrong? Yes, you're wrong, Cotton Patch 2000. It was Crawford. It was Crawford that fought Horn. So that may be the worst and best Mike Tyson impersonation I've heard in a while. Hey, worst and best, hot and cold, cool. But no, Crawford fought Horn. But see, Horn beat Pacquiao, right? So, everybody thinks Pacquiao, beat Horn. I think he beat Horn. But then again, Horn did bully Pacquiao around. Pacquiao had that bad cut. You guys remember that? So, yeah, I think that, Crawford came in and stopped Horn. See, he made a statement. See, Pacquiao went 12 rounds with him. Sure, I know his eye was a factor, his size and all that. Everything was a factor. But that wasn't a factor for Crawford. Crawford went up there and tore into that ass. Okay, so as far as great fighters, I mean, you think Spence is a great fighter? Here's the thing. If he beats Spence and people are, oh my God, it's the best I've ever seen. Well, okay, what if Porter beats Spence? Would you think the same thing? You see what I'm saying, though? So if Porter beats Spence, right, then Spence is really irrelevant at that point. That money is gone, the opportunity is gone for Crawford to show his greatness. So what does he do? He fights Porter, he beats Porter. Then what? See, that's what you ask yourself. Okay, do we still look at Crawford the same way? Oh, he doesn't beat a good fighter. Well, who is a good fighter? Spence is a good fighter, but I mean, is he great though? We don't know that yet. We don't know anything about the dude. He's too young. He's too green. Jonathan Simon, I think Spence and his team talks a lot of nonsense to keep him relevant. Yeah, they keep his name out there. They keep his name out there. They keep talking about him, but that's, I think, is the reason where he's at today. 31 and Spence is 28, trying to age Crawford out of his prime. Yeah, I believe that. I think they're trying to wait until either Crawford loses, because if he loses, it's over anyway, right? But then, yeah, come on, 2020, late 2020. That's his time next year, so he'll be 32. You know, I think Canelo did that to Golovkin though, but but I mean, it is what it is. Kurt, name the best fighter on Crawford's resume. I think the best fighter on his resume was um, Gamboa. Gamboa was that undefeated 135-pound star at that division. You know, saludame, Martha Nunez. Counterpunch to you. Let's see. Yeah, but you got to understand something. That was Crawford showing how good he really was and making himself known. Okay. Nobody could compete with him. And in fact, Danny Garcia, I believe this to be a fact. I believe that Danny Garcia, Team Garcia, left 140 because Crawford was coming to 140. And when Crawford came to 140, I know that's why they left. I know it was a good idea to leave because Crawford wiped out the whole division. And it is not really the guys and the people he's bought, is what he was able to do. Who had the belts? He took them all. Postol was a good fighter. You know what I mean? Undefeated fighter. Gamboa undefeated, Postol undefeated, Jeff Horn undefeated, Benavidez undefeated. A lot of these guys are undefeated guys that he fought, and it took him no problem. He made Amir Khan quit. Normally, Amir Khan gets his ass knocked out, right? Crawford, no, he made you quit because you know damn well you wasn't going to end that. That wasn't going to be good. He was going to fuck Khan up eventually, and Khan knew it because he started to catch Khan in the body and breaking his body down. And the only thing Khan had was speed. It surely wasn't talent. You know what I'm saying? It didn't matter. That speed didn't even matter because Crawford already knew. He already knew his angles. He knew that that shit there. He knew. He already had that time. So Khan knew, I need to get the hell out of this ring. Boom! Okay. I can't continue, but I didn't quit. I didn't quit. Yeah, sure, bud. Sure you did. Fought Canelo when he was a youngster. Fought Pacquiao when he was a senator. No, Cotton Punch. No, I like this, but no. Let me counterpunch you. Canelo was not a youngster. Canelo turned pro when he was 15, bro. He was a pro 7 years when Floyd fought him. In fact, he had more fights than Floyd, I believe. He was like freaking 35 and 0 at the time. That's not an excuse. If anything, Canelo was supposed to beat Floyd. But here's the blessed thing about it. Floyd, look, okay, let's look at it like this. If he would have fought Floyd any other time, Floyd was 36, dude. Think about it. 36 years old fighting a 22-year-old. If he would have waited 2 more years and Canelo was 24, it'd have been 38. So, I mean, then he would have beat him when he was 24. You just said the same thing? You see what I'm saying? Like, no. And, in Pacquiao, he was already into politics. He was a congressman, then a senator, and, so he was into all that already, so I don't buy it. We ask that you please go through proper channels, pay your taxes, and be our neighbor in patriotism. Welcome. Okay. Errol Spence versus Paul Williams. Who wins? Ooh, man, I don't know. Goodfellas, Pulp Fiction. Dude, you're killing me with these awesome matchups. Paul Williams, he fights like he's 5'8", but he's 6'2". And I think his size would still be a problem because of the amount of punches that he throws. See, Lara beat Paul Williams, but the only problem Lara had was with a guy, and he was a pressure fighter. Paul Williams he's a punisher. That's what he does. Chop, 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 chop. He does not stop punching. And that would be so interesting to see someone like Errol Spence see what he can do with a guy like that. So I don't know, man. I would probably go with Paul because Paul would just put so much pressure on him. But if Errol Spence, because again, this is at 154, we still don't know the full potential of Errol Spence at 147. So I don't know what he'll do at 154. He might get knocked out or stopped or something if Paul Williams can hurt him. So yeah, that might be the case. That's a hell of a question, but I think Errol Spence, absolutely the Bane 1986 counterpunch, is a hell of a question. Paul Williams, I don't even know who that is. Okay, Cotton Patch 2000. Dude, you don't know who Paul Williams is? How long have you been watching boxing? 2, 3 years? Had to be. Had to be. Paul the Punisher Williams. I tell you what, do your homework. Look it up. Google him, please. Because if you don't know who Paul Williams is, man, that's a part of boxing history. Okay? Let's look him up. Not saying any more about that. Yeah, very good fight. The Bay 1986, Goodfellas, Pulp Fiction. Great, great question. Crawford hasn't been in nothing but 2 fights. That was something. What big facts? The truth is the truth. Thomas C. What is 2 big fights? You're talking about Jeff Horn. You're talking about Postal. You're talking about Ndongo. You're talking about Gamboa. Who are you talking about? You've been in some good fights, you know. And if that's the matter, Thomas C., if you think that Crawford ain't fought no one, look at Spence's resume. He's about to fight Porter. We don't know if he's going to win yet. It hasn't happened yet, right? Spence been smoking that bud, yeah, but wants no smoke from bud. Suleiman, counterpunch to you. That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, Spence been smoking that bud, but wants no smoke from bud. Ironic. Suleiman, counterpunch to you. That's great. Love that. Matter of fact, I gotta, uh, yeah, I had to screenshot that one. Put that in the mental Rolodex, courtesy of Suleiman. Crawford hasn't been in any big fights like that himself. Okay, he's been on 3 pay-per-view cards. How many has Spence been on? 1, right? This is his second. So, Crawford's been there. He's been there with Postal. He's been there with Jeff Horn. He's been there with Khan. So yeah, he's been on pay-per-view cards, bro. I always forget about Crawford. That's not good. He needs a new promoter. Damn. You know something though? You might be onto something. I think Bob Arum is not the best for him. I think Bob Arum is really kind of, he talks about Terrence Crawford, but he doesn't talk about him like he talks about Lomachenko. He promotes Loma more. I do think that. So you got a good counterpunch on that one. Marcos Maidana versus Gotti. Aaron Pryor versus Trinidad. Hagler versus B-Hop. Ooh. Marcos Maidana versus Gotti. That sounds like a Fantasy Wednesday, definitely. Ooh, man. Do you know what type of fight that would produce? The awkwardness, the power, the aggression. Probably some headbutts going to be in there simply because, Maidana fights with his head down. He likes to lean into your chest and throw overhand punches. Whereas Gotti doesn't like necessarily all that, awkwardness, but he does like to fight on the inside. I'd have to give it to Gotti because I think Gotti would eventually hurt Maidana with punches, but then Maidana can crack too. So, Aaron Pryor versus Trinidad, I think, because Aaron Pryor was what, 140? Trinidad was a lot. It was bigger. Crawford did demo jobs on Diaz, who beat Peterson. and Vasquez and Benavidez. These guys are just as good as anyone on Spence's resume. How does Horn fare again, Brook, or Porter? I don't know. They all got to fight each other to find out. The ref was about to stop the Horn Pacquiao fight in favor of Pacquiao due to Horn's inactivity, but Horn stepped up and stole the decision. Hey, he did what he had to do. He fought his ass off. He took an ass whooping. You seen his face, but hey, it is what it is. I mean, he fought for that. You didn't. You can't say he didn't hit Pacquiao. You can't say that. He was tagging Pacquiao's ass. So, oh my God, what the hell is wrong with his team keeping his name in the spotlight? Gamboa. Yep, Gamboa. Thomas C. Good call. Tank versus Gamboa. Who you think will win? Tank. Gamboa's out of his prime. He's 36 years old. Look, dog, that ain't gonna work. You know what I mean? Because here's the thing. Tank needs to fight Lopez. And what's a nagging ass annoying fact is the best fighters are always on a different network. That's the fights we want to see, but then they blame it on the network, like, oh no, if the money's right, the money's right. You know, who has mental edge in this fight? Spencer Porter. I don't know. I think Porter though, because I think Porter's been here. I think Porter is understanding that is the top dog. He is the most experienced fighter in this ring. You know, he outboxed Khan. Khan doesn't usually get outboxed. Yeah, say that tells you how special talent is. He's over just good. See, Spence is good. We have to see how good Spence is, but we know Crawford is good. You know, doing that to Gamboa, no one done that before. You know what I mean? Andre, honestly, I think Crawford beat down John Molina Jr. and Felix Diaz the way he did. And now, when you think about it, Felix Diaz was an Olympian, bro. You know what I mean? It scared them at BBC. I don't ever hear about Felix Diaz no more. No, you don't. You don't hear anything about him. When Crawford beat him, they put him on the no call list or something. Yeah. Davis Duck Loma and Tevin Farmer. Yeah. Explain it to me how that is a joke. Okay, I don't know what the joke is. What has Gamboa did since he lost to Crawford? How good is Gamboa? How good is Horn? Well, I mean, Gamboa was the guy, though. Now if that version of Gamboa fought Tank, that was a different story. But Gamboa is like 36. He's not the guy he used to be. A lot of times you can stay so well for so long, and some fighter comes along and takes you off your game. You know, Spence is 29. That's right. No, yeah, somebody did say he was 28. So counterpunch that. He is 29. I don't know when his birthday is, but he's 29. Trinidad versus Spence. I think if Spence can get it to the body, but they're both slow starters, so it'd be a war, I think. And I think honestly, Trinidad could knock out Spence. You know what I mean? Because I think Spence would try to be too aggressive and gets caught with a hook or something or another. Because Trinidad is gonna come for you. He's not gonna. It's gonna be a good fight. Unless Spence could hit him and hurt him with those body punches inside. You know, but it's gonna be a hell of a fight though. Spence needs to get back on the fast track. Dude is like 31 and didn't achieve anything yet. Well, he's actually 29. So, I mean, you just fight the top guys. And I'm like this: if I'm Spence, I would get sick of people asking me about Crawford. I'm like, dude, why are you asking me about Crawford? Quit, stop asking me about the dude. Okay, let me fucking fight him. Let me show all you dudes. I'm gonna punish him like I do everybody else because I'm the truth. Why not? He gets it. I don't get it. But wants no smoke from Bud. I still don't get it. Curtis Anderson. We talk about resumes too much. It's all about skill. Ooh. Well, let's talk about skill. If skill was the case, Crawford got it. I seen that Spence can he can move, he can notch up a gear, some couple gears, you know, like he did with Brook. But will can he do that with Crawford? You know what I'm saying? With Crawford's ability to slip and dip, and I think that would be. That's why we want to see this fight. Like Sean Porter. I'm gonna go for the unification for Sean Porter. Man, dude, people didn't really ask for that. We asked for Crawford. you know, people. Let's see. Crawford already has a ticket to the Hall of Fame, which PBC welterweight has the ticket. Danny hasn't been undisputed in anything. No, he hasn't. He used to be undefeated, but that he took that in 17. So he's not that guy. Still a top guy, but he's not that guy. Terry Norris versus Julian Williams. Ooh, Julian Williams, no doubt about it. Julian Williams. Paul Williams, boxer. Cotton Patch. You put boxer. Or Paul the Punisher Williams. How about that? Put that in there. Mighty Thor in the house. Counterpunch to you. Errol is going to stop Porter. Too much body to watch. Lara versus J Rock is a good fight. I do agree. I think Lara's going to beat J Rock. If Lara's not lost too much. Because I think he's lost some, but I think he's still a good fighter. And Julian Williams, Julian Williams, he is I don't know. I think he is I got Crawford beating Spence. If he ever fights Spence, Curtis Anderson. But no, J Rock Williams, yeah, I think he hasn't been in there with someone slick like Lara, and he's gonna show him. I want to see that fight too. Definitely. Yeah, you're trolling. Lomachenko could beat Porter, Spence, and Crawford at the same time. Give me a fucking break. Come on, man. No, doubt that. NBA King David, I love to listen. I'm a big fan because you speak non-biased truth. Now let me listen. Cotton Patch, I don't know if you're trolling or not calling Canelo or Loma legends. Crawford getting beat up Gamboa. Even Diaz isn't the same fighter after. Yeah. Punch quote. I think Crawford is the kind of dude that he's so skillful that he makes you doubt your own skill and your own ability. Therefore, it messes with you mentally. I think that's what happens with when someone like Crawford gets you. I think, and Gamboa was so fast and he was very athletic and he was quick and he's big, but he got stopped by Crawford. Crawford took that chance. All right. Now, if Crawford was a PBC fighter, he would never fought Gamboa. He fought some fucking other person, right? Nobody never heard of. You should do a video with Showbiz the Adult. Yeah, Showbiz the Adult's cool. I like his content. Very animated brother. I wouldn't be against any of that. Lomachenko can beat them in a handstand contest. Yeah, he could. Dude's, he's like damn acrobat. Motherfucker's like a jockey on the part time. Terence Crawford is the best pound for pound. Yeah, he is. Loma's skills are unmatched. Yeah, I like to see Loma fight. I like to see how he, even when he fought, his last opponent, he showed that the other fighter was he was on a certain level, but Loma did what he could do. He still got caught though. So now you're seeing when he's fighting higher opposition, these type of things happen. Mikey ducked Gamboa and Danny ducked Postal. Oh, I don't know about that one. Wait a minute. Let's see. Mikey ducked Gamboa. Yeah, they were going to fight once upon a time. I remember that. Terence Crawford cleans divisions out, unlike most fighters. He does. He Thanoses those fucking divisions, man. That's what he does. That's what he's about. We found Loma. We found the Loma fanboy. They are worse than Canelo fanboys and Triple G fanboys. Did you see the video of Derek James and Kenny Porter almost fighting? You know what? I hadn't, but I know I seen a part of a video about it. I heard part of a video about it. Mickey Ward versus Sean Porter. Ooh, I think Sean will take Mickey Ward, but it'd be a war. Because I think he would just kind of run over Mickey Ward. But Mickey Ward is, and that's a guy with 13 losses. I used to love to see him fight on Friday night fights. Love to see him fight. And this is way before the Gotti fights. This was when he was fighting guys like Antonio Diaz. He got beat by Antonio Diaz, but it was a good fight to watch. It was very entertaining. It was very, it was a back and forth fight. Antonio Diaz was just, better than him on the day. Um, who else? Uh, Emmanuel Augustus, which was one of the like fights of the year. You see that fight. That fight is very good. Emmanuel Augustus is like they call him the drunken master. You know what I mean? He does a lot of clowning in there. He has just as many wins as losses. He's a legend. You know, he did get shot recently. So he's not in the best health, but he's alive. But he is classic for fighting everyone. Floyd Mayweather called him one of the toughest fighters he's been in the ring with. So it should tell you something about Emmanuel Augusta. Emmanuel Augustus, right? Derek is talking greasy, but Kenny is under pressure. Sean is going to get that stopped. That's what they don't want. That's why Thurman and Danny won't take fight. Afraid of getting stopped. NBA King David, great non-biased boxing channel fan from NBA Gang CEO. Counterpunch to you, brother. Thank you for the super chat. I try my best to be non-biased and call it like I see it. Counterpunch to you, brother. Thurman, Porter, Spence, and Garcia. Which one of these fighters would have cleaned out 140? I don't know, but I can tell you who did. I can tell you who did. Crawford already done that. It ain't would've, he did. That's the difference. Okay? So when you say, oh man, which one of these guys would have done it? Well, these guys didn't do it. Okay, let's take a look. Thurman was never there, and really Thurman started at 150, 154. He wasn't originally a 147-pound fighter. Porter didn't do it. Spence was never there. Garcia was there. He could have done it, but he fled when Crawford was coming from 135. He left the same year. So I don't really know. I don't know if they could, based on who was there, based on now, based on, because when Danny Garcia was there, um, he fought some guys. He was pretty good. He fought Matisse, beat Matisse. That was a good fight. That was a fight that a lot of people thought that he wouldn't have won. So that was more like an upset. I think that was on the undercard of one of those fights. I think it was on the undercard of Canelo Mayweather, I believe. Yori Dumbo, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Michael Conlon's overrated. Drunken Master got robbed numerous of times. Yeah, man, I like Drunken Master, man. And matter of fact, he fought Mickey Ward tooth to nail. Man, look that fight up if you haven't seen it. You got to see that fight. It's probably on YouTube. Somebody posted it somewhere. And I think if YouTube wasn't so shitty about like copyrights, because I have like all those fights. Like I recorded all those fights on VHS, but now you just got to dub them and convert them, and then put them on YouTube or whatnot. But then you got to have the licensing and stuff like that. I don't need those problems. But if you couldn't find those fights, I think what you would have to do is contact ESPN, because a lot of them were on ESPN, HBO, Showtime, whichever. Because I recorded them all. I had fight parties. My fiance at the time was like, dude, what's wrong with you? All you do is watch boxing and, train boxing. It was crazy. It was crazy. And, I had it set up. So, yeah, I had fight parties at my house. Yeah, it was a great time. I didn't need to go out. Just get me home Friday at 8. Friday night fights. Saturday, the bigger fights come on Saturday on Showtime, HBO. I was in there. You know. No, I meant as far as skill level. I don't know, man. It depends on who was there. Like just maybe Thurman at 140. Danny Duck Postal. Yeah, he did. He did. Crawford never presented a money fight. To be honest, he still don't. I think he's a little though. No West Fly Zone. You know what? He doesn't get the marketing like he should. I think I blame that on Bob. You know, and then he's not a shit talker neither. So you don't love to hate Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford is who Terrence Crawford is. He's not Mayweather. He's not anyone else but himself. So what is Floyd Mayweather's biggest technical fundamental flaw in his boxing skills? I don't know. I could tell you this. First thing that came to my mind, good fellas, is his pull counter, and a lot of people haven't capitalized on it. I seen him get hit flush by Maidana, okay, in the second fight. This is the second fight. Right before the bell of the second round had ringed, he tried to do a pull counter over a jab, So Floyd has this thing where he gets enough distance and he waits for your jab. So when he'll slip your jab and then follow with the pull, with the pull counter. Well, if you know that's coming, and I don't know if Maidana knew it was coming, but he timed it perfectly because he threw the jab and a pull counter. If the right hand's coming, you can't counter, right? You're going to get caught with that right because his hands were low. So he was like this. So he pulled the jab, then he countered, or he went to counter, but that right was already there and smashed him in the face. But anybody just say Floyd don't have a chin, you're lying. He got a chin. He might get hurt because he kind of buckled, but he was already in his corner, so he just kind of turned around and sat down. And Kenny Bayless, oh, you're all right, Floyd. Oh, you're all right. That's his guy. Kenny Bayless is like on Mayweather's payroll, or he was, because he was on like, damn, is he refereeing this fight again? Anyway, but yeah, definitely. I think that's what it is. I think you could catch him with that pull counter. I think he does that a little too much in fights. The jab to the stomach, and he'll wait because his reflexes are so because he's waiting for you to counter. So I think that's one of his, technical flaws if he was to have one. Let's see what Spence and Porter do. Then we can talk pay-per-view. Jones purchased the ticket in Dallas, and Mikey brought in the pay-per-views. Okay, fair enough. That's true. We got to see what Errol Spence is about. Let's see if he's really the truth, people. And don't get me wrong. If he beats Sean Porter, okay, now you're there. Now you are at a certain point. You've done something worth talking about. Now you've beat one of the top welterweights, which is the champion, or was the champion, the WBC champion. Okay? Shouts out from Liverpool, Luke Campbell versus Devin Haney, possible fight. That looks good, Red Maka. Counterpunch to you. I would love to see that fight. Because Luke Campbell didn't lose any steam from fighting Loma and losing to Loma. Gave Loma hell, right? Spence and Crawford are on the same level. Make that fight. Joshua and Canelo are the only two money stars. Yeah, sadly to say. There ain't nobody else. Think about it. There ain't nobody else. From heavyweight to middleweight, that's it. Everyone else below that is not generating revenue or money. Who? If it is, who? Tell me. Who is it? I'll stop sounding like an owl. Who? Because there is no one else. They're holding like, Canelo, and then they're both on the zone. Go figure. Johnny Blaze 33, counterpunch to you, brother. Cotton Patch 2000. I still can't believe that guy threw down a steak dinner. Okay. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, you're trolling. You're just trolling. Like a cotton patch. And then what steak dinner you going to? You fucking IHOP? Yeah, I guess so. Counter riding shots off of his shoulder, stab to the midsection to maintain distance, hook outside of the guard. You know something though? Hook out of the high guard. You know, Zab Judah did that. Zab Judah was that's how he actually dropped. It wasn't official because fucking Richard Steele. I love him to death now, but I hated him as a referee. He's like a promoter now. He's one of the nicest guys. But I counterpunched his ass so many times when it came to his fights and his decisions. And when Zab Judah actually saw it, because Zab is a southpaw, so when Floyd tried to go down to the body and jab, he'd already had it. He check hooked him and put him to the ground. He swayed over and his glove hit the ground. Your glove hit the canvas, that's a knockdown. They didn't see it till later. He just rubbed it off, you know what I mean? But yeah, he caught Floyd trying to that jab, that stomach jab, right in the middle of your solar plexus kind of jab. But it just shows you how talented Zab Judah was. I think he was emotionally challenged, you know? Yeah. They force him to leave, or you're gonna be hating on him. Yeah, I know, man. Just we'll go find another stream. Shit, Wilder is not making no damn Forbes list. Yeah, that's true. Actually, do speak louder than words. Coulda, woulda, shoulda means nothing. Get it done. That's it. I think you're referring to the weight class, cleaning out the weight classes. Look, you can't discredit Crawford. You can't do it. You can say, oh, he doesn't sell tickets. Shit, he sells out in Nebraska. He does well back at home. You can't say he doesn't do that. Shit, he does better than Tyson Fury, and they're paying his ass what, 15 million a fight, right? Like what the fuck? I mean, they gave away 3,800 just so it won't look all sketchy, you know. Wilder versus Iron Mike. Which Iron Mike? If it's the one in the 20s, yeah, that's his ass, because all he's going to do is roll in the inside and launch off nasty hooks and take Wilder out. And if he catches Wilder with one, he's going to catch him with another. Unless Wilder can just stop him, catch him coming in, that's all she wrote. Rod Rook Davis, counterpunch to you. Yeah, if Errol KOs Porter, then the narrative changes. It does. No West Fly Zone. It does. I mean, because he showed you, hey, I can beat Sean Porter. But then here's the thing. He believes he can beat Sean Porter. If he didn't believe he could beat Sean Porter, he wouldn't be fighting Sean Porter. Real talk. Maybe Pac-Man on the list too, but he's definitely third. Yeah, probably Pac-Man. Pac-Man is, he's an earner, but he's not the earner he used to be. You know what I mean? I think he got did he get 10 million to fight Keith Thurman, I think? And I think Thurman got 5. So, but I mean, that's not huge. It's not Canelo Joshua money, So, yeah, it's not really a lot of people there. IHOP steak cooked with roadkill for $10. I know, right? You dropped a $10 steak. I'm like, no, my steak's a little bit more than $10. The ones I like, and I love steak, ribeye, medium cooked, sauteed mushrooms, charred on both sides. Let's get it. You know what I mean? That don't cost $10. 22 ounces or more, preferably. With the bone. The bone gives it more flavor. Yes, I love steak. So when you said $10 for a steak, yeah, that's IHOP shit. That's Waffle House shit. Yeah, Skip Bayless, he hates Floyd, bro. He's biased against Floyd. He hates Floyd. I don't know what Floyd did to him. I think Floyd just didn't lose. That's why he hated him more. But it's people like Skip Bayless that kept Floyd paid And that's true. They wanted to see Floyd lose so bad they would pay him to see him lose, but he never lost. So they hate him more now. Like, fuck. We want to see this motherfucker. They would rather him come back to the sport just to see him lose, just to have that victory. I bet you if he ever lost, Skip Bayless would, oh, the best day of my life. Shit. Well, Canelo resume is that he has a loss to Floyd and flaw wins over Lara and Golovkin. Close fights with Trout and Cotto. Canelo does not have one significant win that's not. Yeah, it is true, Lewis. You got it. That's great counterpunch. That's the thing about Canelo. Canelo is that guy that they blatantly showed favoritism, and it's like people know it, and they pretend like, oh, he is the best resume, but all them fucking fight. Look at this fight, the Lara fight. That fight was like, well, who the hell was, you know what I mean? Didn't want to give the man a rematch. No, you got a dancing partner, buddy. It was supposed to be before Golovkin, and then Golovkin draw. Mayweather majority decision loss though. So even if he did lose, he damn near lost. He damn near won. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's like the dude's protected on high, and then he's a good fighter, so he don't need the protection. You know what I mean? So really, Canelo is the kind of guy that he's like fighting a rich guy that shit don't stink. You know what I mean? I gave you an opportunity, so you lost. Everybody think you won. No, it's over. I'm not fighting you again. Be gone. It's just like, I don't know, man. It's crazy. But yeah, it is questionable. So, but that just shows you that Canelo is hard as hell for him to lose fights. But we did think the same thing about Danny Garcia, but Danny Garcia is no Canelo. You know what I mean? Obviously now, right? The test of time. Dude got pics of other dudes on his wall. Come out already, Coco proof off the grid. It's a fucking boxing poster. The fuck are you talking about? This is a boxing channel. Come on the grid, motherfucker. Like, what the fuck? I like Bud, but he hasn't fought. Oh, and let me counterpunch you on this off the grid. While we're on the subject, who's on my page? Who's on my channel? A model, a female model. Okay. But anyway, all right. Had to counterpunch that shit real quick. Spence has already doubled all of Crawford's pay-per-view buys combined. Okay. Get this smoke. Who did he use to do that? Mikey Garcia. It was a smart plan, but at the same day, it ain't about Spence. They didn't know who the fuck Spence was. That was in his home place. Okay? They didn't come out to support Spence. Okay? Mikey Garcia's fans did. They knew that. This is Texas. It was Texas people. Mexicans will support their own. However, Spence's people will not. And they didn't. They didn't know who the hell he was. All right? So yeah, yes, that was a good turnout, 47,000, right? It was a good turnout. Look at the venue, but look at the location. Okay? So thoughts on Skip Bayless saying Floyd has a terrible footwork and had a terrible ring IQ. Dude, Skip Bayless is a trip. You know what? Skip Bayless is going to be one of them old ass dudes that just gets senile. He's just one of those dudes. Yeah, the steak killer, man. I slaughtered. Man, I was in Austin. Man, I had a bomb steak. It was actually, what was that? I was an Outback. Had the sauteed mushrooms on it, just like I explained it, man. I just slaughtered one. Just slaughtered. Yeah, man, I'm a steak killer. Kill him. Ribeye, preferably. I'll go for a T-bone or whatever. Filet, give me a T-bone. So give me the filet and the New York strip. You know what I mean? If I'm gonna have that. But ribeye, that's my choice of meat. Now, and actually, a friend of mine, I got her. She wanted everything well done, so I got her to convert over to medium because she was like, I want it well done. I'm like, dude, you don't like steak then, right? So her steak came out dry as hell because she wanted it well done. Same cut, same ribeye, a cowboy ribeye, right? With the bone. So mine comes out succulent, juicy with the sun. Then I poured the sauteed mushrooms on it. She got it. Oh, this is delicious. We got a converter. you know? How does Canelo beat a prime Roy Jones Jr.? He don't. That's what he does not beat a prime Roy Jones. You know, no West Fly Zone, Kurt. But well, what about the Ocampo fight? He sold out the Star with any problem. Yeah, it was a good accomplishment. That was. You got that. I mean, because he did. Yeah, that was in Texas Stadium. Don't remember the numbers, but I do remember that wasn't. He did sell out. Cool. BoxingWholesale.com. Nice. Yeah, I gotta check that out. I used to be a guy up in Jersey. That this is back in the like early 2000s, so you had to send it off. Send off what you want, send the money back, and he mails it to you. VHS. So I had a lot of his fights. I got the David Tua Ika Baribucci fight from him. The Mickey Ward Zab Judah fight from him. Got a lot of fights I didn't see. The Also got the Ike Corte Obakar fight, which was a good fight, very good fight. And actually welterweights was my favorite division at one point. When De La Hoya, Trinidad, you had Fernando Vargas at 154 along with David Reed. You had Six Head Lewis, you had Maidana, not Maidana, um, um, El Toro. Hell is his crazy ass name. From Nicaragua. Damn, I don't know, having a brain fart. But then you had Vernon Forrest, Winky Wright. You had all these guys there at one time. Then Sugar Shane came up. Then Floyd and Manny, they eventually came up. That was later. But welterweight division was stacked. It was stacked. It was one of those divisions like, dude, look at all this talent. Look at all these undefeated fighters. It was nothing like it since probably, Leonard and Hearns and, Hagler and those guys, So, yeah, that was my best division at that time. Prime Roy Jones would kill Canelo. I would second that, Jr. Counterpunch to you, brother. Oh, it was 15,000. I mean, that's not bad. You know what I mean? But okay, no West Fly Zone. Right now, let's go to the Nebraska Stadium because that's where uh, Terrence Crawford has a lot of his fights. So let's look him up. Yeah, after Porter, Spence eyeing Pacquiao, then Crawford. Just Crawford. Leave Pacquiao alone. I know they want that money. I know because it's more incentive to fight Pacquiao because he is the dude. He's the dude. All right, see you later, Cotton Patch. Counterpunch to you, sir. Welter have always been killers. Yep, they have. Get this smoke. They have. I doubt Tyson Fury is making that money. That ESPN contract wasn't guaranteed money. His fights aren't making any money. Sully, man, if that's the truth, so be it. I mean, shit. 3,700 tickets sold? Damn. Not a lot. Canelo's kryptonite is an athletic fighter or a pure boxer. Look at Lara, you know? So Lara's a guy who's not going to give you much to work with. So he's not going to come forward to you. See, that's why Canelo was so frustrated in that fight because he couldn't do what he wanted to do. He couldn't do what he did with Trout because Trout was giving him something. Lara was giving him nothing. Boxing them long ass 74-inch reach arms, and then whenever Canelo would try to come in, he would pop him with the left hand. So, how much you see a Spence Column Smith fight going? How would you see a Spence? Oh man, Smith is huge though, man. I don't know. I don't think he'd want to go up there. You know what I mean? Okay, Michael Green, well, you can just go to sleep, buddy. Have a good night. You know, how many active Hall of Famers out there? Pacquiao's going to get stalked like a pip star. Yeah, yeah. I mean, they want to fight. They want to fight him so bad. You know what I mean? Curtis Anderson. You can catch me on Blue Blood Sports TV, Fernan, and SOG Boxing Talk. What is SOG's Boxing Talk? I never heard of that. Counterpunch to you, sir. Appreciate your support. Errol Spence is the truth. He outclassed pound for pound ranked fighter in Micah Garcia and stopped Kell Brook, who was undefeated at welterweight. Got to give Spence his credit. Well, he did stop Kell Brook. Micah Garcia, I can't. He's too small. It's not his division. Micah Garcia is not a welterweight. So I can't give him credit for fighting a guy that is not a welterweight. Errol Spence is a welterweight champion. You fight welterweights. It's strap season. It was no strap attached to that. Okay, so I can't give him like no one's you don't supposed to. No one's supposed to give him that type of credit for fighting Micah Garcia. Now, from a business standpoint, yeah, it was great because he knew when you got black and brown and you put them together, that's how you're gonna do it. That's one of again, that's Floyd's doctrine, people. This is Floyd's doctrine. So, everyone's reading the Floyd Mayweather Jr. Bible, inspired by Al Heyman. Yeah. See you later, Red Maka. Start my work. Counterpunch to you. Have a great day. Canelo is not a light heavyweight. No, he is not, but he is moving up in weight. There's a difference, right? See, he's moving up in weight. Errol Spence is not moving up in weight. Laura confused Canelo. He did. He confused him. He pissed him off. He frustrated him. And he did that for a reason. He did that because a lot of people thought, oh, he's running. No, he's pissing him off. He's throwing him off. Those punches he was throwing. Come on, this is Canelo. Canelo's a pinpoint accurate puncher. He wasn't doing that shit with Lara. Let's get real. Let's get real with it. Thoughts on Pretty Boy Floyd versus Gotti? Oh, God. Disaster. Destruction. Pain. That's what I think about Floyd, Pretty Boy Floyd versus Gotti. He destroyed Gotti. You know what? And I was a huge Gotti fan. And that was one fight I did not take. I can appreciate it now, but when it happened, I just didn't even want to look at it because I already knew what happened. And it was like, man, did you see Floyd pick Gotti apart? It was rounds Gotti didn't even land one punch. It was crazy. It was crazy. Gamboa hadn't fought at 126 for a while when he had fought Bud. You know what? He did move up in weight classes too, But again, this is coming from a guy from Nebraska, you know? So how many fighters you have from Nebraska? Nike moved up, Canelo's moving up. Kovalev is getting credit if he beats Canelo. Well, I mean, he's getting money, but then if he beats Canelo, think about it though, get this smoke. If he beats Canelo and he actually wins a decision, yeah, you got to give him all the credit. Fuck, they robbed Golovkin. Yeah, you would give him credit. Why? Because this is the dude that cannot be beat except for Floyd Mayweather. He ain't lost since. I mean, all these close calls, he ain't lost. So if Golovkin can do that to Canelo, okay, so be it. At least somebody can, right? So yeah, you got to, you know? And in Canelo, he's not that dude that, look, him going up in weight versus Mikey Garcia going up in weight versus Kell Brook going up in weight are two different things. They're different from those two situations because Canelo's already been beaten. There's no, oh man, he's undefeated. No, those guys were undefeated when they decided to move up. So they put their record on the line, but they put their record on the line knowing that there's a huge possibility that I could lose. And if they did lose, they won't get too much flack because they're moving up in weight, right? Versus Canelo's moving up in weight because he's trying to challenge himself, but he doesn't have the pressure that he has with other fights. Because okay, if Kovalev beats him, what is he going to do? Probably have a. It depends on how he gets beat. He gets knocked out. He probably won't want to come back. But that's that. We'll see. We will see Canelo's limit. You know. Do you watch Teddy Atlas? Sometimes. I like Teddy Atlas as a commentator. You know, like when he's on. I like his aggressive passion for the sport. He knows what's up. He sees shit that ain't right. He's old school. You know, he's Customato's protege. You know what I'm saying? So he trained under the best trainer, or one of the best trainers, the iconic trainers of the day, of yesteryear. So he's the. I would like to hang out with Teddy Atlas and just listen to him. You know, just listen to him. Just listen to him put his heart soul into the sport that he loves, which is boxing. I would love to see that. I would love to experience that. So yeah, I like Teddy Atlas. You know, he gets off the rocker. I think Teddy Atlas will fucking go off and like fight you. I think he's kind of yeah, Teddy. Yeah, Teddy's raw. That's it. That's the word for him. He's raw. No West Fly Zone. He's freaking raw. Why do you praise Crawford for stopping a 126-pound Gamboa? Mikey was 39-0 and ranked pound for pound. Okay, he was ranked pound for pound at 135. Okay, 135 to 147, 126 to 135. What's the bigger jump? Right? I mean, he went to 130. He was at 130, and he actually was winning that fight. You know, the thing is, Gamboa was a guy that was favored to win that fight. It wasn't Crawford. Crawford wasn't favored to win that fight, even though he was moving up. You know, he had went from 126 to 130, then 130 to 135. You think about Linares. Was Linares favored in fighting, beating Lomachenko? But he dropped Lomachenko, right? Now, let's say if Linares would have beat Lomachenko and then moved up to 140, then cleaned out the division, then moved up to 147, what type of reputation would he have had? A pretty good one. See what I'm saying? Best boxing performance in the last 20 years. Ooh. There's been a lot of good boxing performances. Hmm. I don't know. I got to think about that one. Gamboa has the bigger name and was the betting favorite against Bud. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. He was the bigger name, so he was favored. He was the one favored. It wasn't Crawford. Crawford made his own stand. He made his own mark. And you know what the problem about Crawford is? Here's the thing. Crawford ain't this big made up star. He ain't the guy that ain't fought nobody. Riggin, I mean, when he fought Gamboa, Gamboa was the dude. He was the dude in those weight classes. He was that guy that people were looking at. That's why 50 Cent wanted him. He signed him. Why? Because, yeah, Rigo versus Donaire. Yeah, I would go for that. Rigo schooled him. Billy Joe versus David Lemieux, another one. Boxing double standards showing white boxers more favor. You know what? I can say this. Bob Arum, he does support Loma more. And Loma is, you know, European. Now, the question you ask yourself is was this a repeated pattern? Did he do that with other fighters? Did he do that with did he do that back in the yesteryear? You know, did he do that then? Right? Ika Barabucci versus AJ. Ika Barabucci, dude. AJ wouldn't been able to deal with that. Especially someone 6'3" that punches like Ika Barabucci, that was fundamentally sound, that was quick. I don't think so. I think Ika Barabucci destroys Anthony Joshua. No. And Anthony's a good fighter, but no, I don't. Because Ika Barabucci went 12 rounds with David Tua, going blow for blow. And he hurt David Tua a couple times, you know, and I don't, I don't know. But Joshua does have the reach on him and the height. Ika Barabucci has the speed. And then here's the thing, Ika Barabucci, he did to Tua what Ruiz did to Joshua. because he threw 2 times as many of the punches just to get his point across. For every 2 or 3 Tua would throw, he would throw 6, 7. You know, Thurman was treated better than Spence. Well, he was, but then see, here's Spence thing. Spence had to crawl before he could walk. You know, so funny how the Loma Crawford decision. Teofimo Lopez was laughing at Loma because Crawford had guaranteed 3.5 million in a fight, while Loma is 700K. I don't see how Loma gets more. That's in people's mind. Ooh, great counterpunch. Let's talk about dollars and cents. You know, Crawford is guaranteed. But again, no one's decorated in that area like Crawford. Crawford's done more. The results, the facts don't lie. The results, what are you doing? Are you cleaning out divisions? And then you go into the next one, cleaning that out. What happens to someone just extraordinary? That they attempt to do that, and what happens? They get beat normally. Look at Felix Trinidad. He went to 160. He beat William Joppy, and they had he beat William Joppy. Then he went to fight Bernard Hopkins after Bernard Hopkins beat Keith Holmes. Okay, but he eventually lost to Bernard Hopkins. Crawford went there and beat all those guys. You know, and Trinidad was favored to beat Hopkins, but he didn't win. You know, they're just showing great things people are doing. You know. Yeah, then he got handled by Hopkins. He sure did. He sure did. He got fucked off, really. You know. But Pretty Boy versus Barrera. You know, it's funny, though. Pretty Boy versus Eric Morales. Look, and this is going to be my last counterpunch of the day. Those, or should I say the night, those fights were actually wanted by Floyd Mayweather. They were blocked out. They were not allowed. He was frozen out of those fights. Floyd Mayweather wanted to fight him. Barrera, Morales, and Princess Mamed. Wasn't going to happen. So he couldn't, Floyd wanted to fight a lot of people. So I think that was one of his reasons for like really selecting his fights later on. Because he's like, well, when I did want to fight these people, what the hell? Logan Paul wins. Lex Gaming YT, he wins. And Tito was one of my favorites back then. No West Fly Zone. I liked him too. I loved it when they gave the decision from Oscar because I thought Oscar was untouchable. But then you had Don King with his mighty power. His mighty power of corruption. But anyway, guys, it's been real. We have to see if Spence is the real deal. Let's see if Porter's resistance. We got to see what's going to happen. Everybody, thank you for being on the live stream. Lex Gaming YT, Big Boss, No Fly Zone, Suleiman, Curtis Anderson, Goodfellas Pulp Fiction. All of you guys have been counterpunched. Have a good night or a good morning. And you guys been counterpunched. Peace.